Thanks, Brendan. All right, I think we've got everybody today. So we're going to be going through our book. Does anybody remember what our book is called? What's our book, Wes?
I think it is What to Say When You Talk to Yourself.
That's right. Let's see, I'm sharing my screen. We'll see if that works. Do you guys see my screen? Oh, I'm getting a thumbs up. Okay, that's perfect. There we go. What to say when you talk to yourself. So what we're gonna do is we're going to really give our minds a workout today, okay? So we're gonna be thinking really hard, putting all of this information into your head so that you guys can apply it. So we'll go through chapter 3 today, and then I'm gonna give you guys some homework to work on, and then you're going to use this to become better leaders and to help you accomplish your dreams, right? Because that's what everything we're focused on is helping you guys to be able to do. All right, so who is this for? This is for leaders, right? Because leaders don't accept the status quo, which means leaders don't stay where they're at, right? Leaders get better. Leaders are always going after success. So that's what we want you guys to do too. That's what a black belt is, right? So we talked about the last couple of weeks something called programming. Can somebody remind me what programming is? Mr. Van Middlesworth. Tell me what programming is.
So programming is essentially what you do to make things or yourself what you want them to do.
Exactly. That's where you give the computer information and it does whatever you want it to do, right? So it's what you put into it. So programming is the first step. And you see on my screen all of those balls. Can you guys see those? So that first step is programming. What's at the very other side? That's results, right? So if you focus on the programming, then all of the other things work out so that you get the results that you're looking for. So what we're talking about here is our dreams. And all of you guys, your homework a couple weeks ago was to figure out what your dreams are. Does anybody know what the difference is between a dream and a goal? Cooper, what's the difference between a dream and a goal? Can you share that with us?
I was thinking like a goal is like something what you want to accomplish. Like I bet like all of the conditionals here want to have a goal for the black belt. A dream
Right.
is like to become something when you get older.
Right. Well, that's a great way of explaining it. That's absolutely true. The way that I like to think about it is when I was a kid, I used to love, and there's these things called phone books. You guys probably don't know what those are. That's where you can look up phone numbers. So in the phone book, they also had ads for businesses. And I'd always flip to the martial arts section because I loved looking at all the cool ads with the awesome martial artists doing awesome kicks and really cool punches and stuff like that. So that was a dream, right? I dreamed about what it'd be like to be a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle or a Power Ranger or something like that. But at some point, I decided to join what was called Black Belt Club, which was like leadership for us, right? And that's when I decided to make it my goal to become a black belt. And it was completely different. I had something achievable. In fact, they gave me a belt that had my name on it. And I got to have it for one night. I got to see the belt that I would eventually earn. And then I had to give it back and go earn it. And I knew all of the steps that it would take to earn that. So that's how my dream changed into a goal. What we're focused on here are dreams, right? What's something that's too big to be a goal at this point in your life? Can you share, Mr. West? What's something that you have in mind?
Something that I have in mind that's a little too big for me right now. That
Yeah.
is like working for Sony.
Working for, great dream. I love it. That's a perfect example. Brendan, do you have one?
Kind of a dream that I have that I am not sure if I'll be able to accomplish, but I'm kind of hopeful, is my dream job, a paranormal investigator.
Paranormal investigator. That's a great example of a dream, right? You know, the perfect thing to describe a dream is something that maybe people don't expect from you, right? Because a dream isn't something that you can do right now. A dream's something that's going to have to take probably years to accomplish. So we're going to be going over the skills that help us actually make those dreams happen, right? We start with what's going on in our head. You guys remember Mr. Wagner last week? Show me in your hands if you were here last week with Mr. Wagner. Right? He talked about the way we think, and what we think about influences what we do. He said, if you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. You guys remember him saying that? It's all about what's going on in your head. So we want to make sure we focus on what we're thinking about to help us accomplish these dreams. And we want to change what the programming is, because Mr. Wagner told us that by the time we're 18, we've heard no 148,000 times. That's a lot, right? A lot of negativity, right? If you tell someone that you want to be a paranormal investigator, they might tell you no, right? And that's not gonna be programming that's gonna help you achieve your goals. So we're going to focus on positive programming, right? Do you guys know it? We talked about this last week too. At karate, you guys aren't allowed to say certain negative things. You guys came up with some last week. Who can remind me what some of those were? Let's see. Ethan and Jacob, why don't you guys tell me something that you remember from last week?
Well, I think I remember from last week, like me and Jacob were in a 4-hour prep cycle on Saturday last week.
Mm-hmm. And what were you not allowed to say when you were there? Can you tell me, Mr. Ethan?
Oh, when we're not allowed to be there.
What are you not allowed to say at prep cycle?
Like not make any grunts. Like when they tell you to do something again, you don't make any grunts. Like
perfect example, right? We don't want you to make those grunts. Like when we say 100 push-ups or hit your splits, we don't want to hear you go, oh, that's negative, right? We want you to say, yes, sir. What about this? Master Macy says this all the time. He doesn't like it when you say, I'll try, right? Because you know what happens when you say, I'll try? That's giving yourself an excuse not to be successful. We're not going to give ourselves an excuse not to be successful, because that type of negative programming can cause us to not achieve those results. We want to have positive programming. So that's our review. We're on chapter 3, creating positive change that lasts. So it says, here's a short summary of the rules of success that have been given to us over the years. Each of these ideas is designed to help you create positive change in your life. We've learned that if you want to be successful, you should, and then we have a bunch of words on the screen, all really good things. I want somebody to pick out a couple of these and tell me what they mean. Let's see. Maybe somebody who hasn't said anything. Maybe Lexi or Austin, would one of you guys be willing to speak up and tell me what one of these mean? You got a whole list here. You can pick any of them.
Yes, sir. I picked believe in yourself because that sticks out to me, and it means that you should not give up on yourself even in the hardest of times.
Great
And
answer.
Austin picked
I picked focus on what you want, because if you don't focus on what you want as like a dream job or what you want for your career, you will just pick something random that maybe isn't the thing that you want or love.
Exactly. So that's a great example. You guys, that was perfect. So these are all really good things we say to yourselves. Do you guys have any other ones that aren't on here that that in your family you guys tell yourselves? Wes, do you have one? What is it?
I can do this or get this done, and I can do whatever I want to do.
Oh, there you go. That's it. Brandon, what about you?
If you're gonna do a job, you got to do it right.
If you're gonna do a job, you got to do it right. The one that my family always said, it's not up here. It said, if you try hard and never give up, good things will happen. My dad used to say that to me over and over and over again until I became a teenager. And then they added, if you try hard, never give up, and have a good attitude, good things will happen. I don't know what it is about being a teenager, but you have to work on the attitude piece a little bit more. I heard that over and over and over and over again, and it helped program me so that when I was trying to do something that was difficult, I remembered it. It popped in my head, and it helped me know what to do. Try hard, never give up, have a good attitude. So these things are really helpful when we're trying to program ourselves to have that positivity. So I'm going to go over 3 big ideas from the chapter. Did anybody read chapter 3 already? Okay, do you guys have the book? I highly recommend that you get the book. It's called What to Say When You Talk to Yourself, and you'll be able to look through this book and remember all the stuff that we're learning in this book review. So I want you to, oh, there you go. Ethan and Jacob have it. And these chapters are really short. You could probably read chapter 3 like 5 times in the time that we're talking about it today. So it doesn't take super long to read, but it's really good stuff. So the first one, the first ingredient is, in order to work and keep working, the new idea or message has to become physically wired into your brain. Unless the new message or directions are actually wired into your brain's neural networks, even the best of ideas will only work temporarily. All right, did you guys hear that? So that means you need to make these things permanent physically inside of your brain. Let me give you a story about this, okay? My wife is really scared of snakes. Anybody else scared of snakes? Right? Well, luckily, she doesn't see snakes very much. But last summer, she ran into like 3 snakes just walking down, just hiking a little bit. And so it spooked her out. It changed her programming in her mind so that whenever we would go for a walk, she'd be really scared that a snake would jump out and get her, right? So what do you think I did? I told her, you do not have to worry about snakes, right? They're not going to get you. There's no snakes here. Snakes don't just attack you for no reason. This isn't even an area for snakes. Do you think that helped her? Do you think having someone tell her she doesn't have to worry made her not worry? Do you think even though she knew that there probably wasn't snakes there, did that help her at all? No, right? She needed to have a reprogramming experience in her mind that taught her not to be afraid of snakes, right? And this is for good things or bad things too. There's some people who their programming is to be successful at something. Like I know a student who believes in themselves to do push-ups. When I was a kid, if you would have told me do 100 push-ups, my first reaction would have been like, no, I can't do 100 push-ups. Any of you guys like that? Well, this person was like, I can do push-ups. I'm great at push-ups. I can do as many push-ups as you need. You want me to do 100 push-ups right now? Okay, I'll do it. And they just jumped in and started doing push-ups. Now, they weren't any stronger than you or me. Like, they were the same as us, but they had a different mindset, right? Do you guys have any examples of things that you guys have programmed into your brain that help you believe something, even if it's something that's scary, or maybe it's something that other people wouldn't think you can do? Brendan, do you have an idea for us?
I remember once, I was afraid of snakes, and then we were taking a hike, and it said beware of snakes, and I got way too scared, and I bummed everybody out because because nobody else got to do the hike. So then next time I didn't want to make everybody sad, so I went along and I took the hike, and on our way back, I saw a rattlesnake chilling, and I got really up close to it, and it didn't like attack me or anything, And that made me not really scared of snakes anymore because I did see a snake and it didn't do anything.
There you go. That will help you change your programming. Ethan and Jacob, your hands shot up super fast. Why don't you guys share with us?
Yeah, there is one thing I'm afraid of, and it is called wasps.
What? So you're
Yeah.
afraid of wasps?
Yeah, because I don't like getting hurt by their sting. But however, I was always actually pretty much programmed to kind of back away from wasps whenever I see them, or like try to avoid them. Like that's my programming of not being afraid of wasps. Just don't.
Perfect example. Thank you for
bother them.
sharing that. Jennifer, are you raising your hand? Okay, you're just moving. All right, we're gonna move on to the second one. All right, you guys ready for this? The second ingredient. So we've got 3 ingredients. We just finished our first one. Here's the second ingredient. Understanding how your brain gets wired and the role you play in the wiring process. And understanding how your brain gets programmed puts you in direct control of the process of creating the change and making it last. This means that you need to figure out how your brain works, right? You need to know how that you come up with the ways that you're programmed, right? You want to be able to get in there and change it. And to change it, you have to understand how it works. Have any of you guys ever tried taking something apart to figure out how it works? Like maybe a stapler? Austin, what have you taken apart to try to figure out how it works?
Legos, sir.
Legos? Very cool. Cooper, what about you?
So I have taken apart a lot of things, which the biggest thing I took apart was something that I should have not taken apart. It was this thing right here, and I'm still trying to put it back together.
What is that?
It's basically a Star Wars thing.
Oh, a Star Wars ship? Very cool. So you took it apart to figure out how it works?
Yes, but I can't put it back together again.
Sometimes that happens. Well, we're not going to take our brains apart to figure out how they work, right? But we're going to try to learn about our brains and understand the way that our brains kind of figure out how to program us so that we can understand what we need to do to change our programming or to program ourselves in the way we want. Addison, you're raising your hand. Did you take something apart? Do you want to tell us about it?
When I was at school last time, and I was in the kindergarten probably pre-K, I take some things apart. I took a computer apart. And took some pieces apart of like stuff.
That's perfect. And then Addison, that helps you understand how it works. Do any of you guys play Minecraft? Right? Okay, a lot of you guys play Minecraft. I don't play Minecraft at all. In fact, I don't even know the first thing about Minecraft. So if I wanted to build a castle in Minecraft, do you guys think I could do it? Is it pretty easy, Brendan? Well, if I'm going to do it, I need to learn some stuff first, right? I need to learn how to do Minecraft before I can do something in Minecraft, right? So Brendan, you would have to explain to me how I get stuff to build with, where I put it, all of the commands. I don't know anything, right? So I'm going to have to learn how to play before I can do what I want. And it's the same thing with your brain. You got to figure out how your brain works, and then you can play around with it. You can build a castle with it. All right, one more ingredient. You guys ready for ingredient number 3? The third ingredient for creating positive personal change, which always begins with mental change, is this: a new word-for-word set of directions, new programming to both your conscious and subconscious minds. That means a specific programming vocabulary that is worded in a specific way that anyone can use it at any time to replace the old negative programming with positive, productive, new directions. The only solution that includes all 3 of these essential ingredients that create lasting change in the brain is self-talk. So that's where we're at. We're going to be doing self-talk. That's why the book is called How to Talk to Yourself, right? So we're going to give ourselves word for word set of directions, programming for your mind. Conscious, which means the things you think about, and unconscious, which is the things you don't think about, right? Lots of things we do unconsciously. You breathe you blink, you sweat, you get scared. Some of these things happen to you without even thinking about doing it, right? So we're going to talk about specific things that we say that are going to help us reprogram. So that's not what we're going to talk about today, but over the next few weeks, we're going to give you the language of things that you're going to say to yourself that are really going to help. So why is it important to have specific things that you say? Why can't you just say anything? That's a difficult question. Let me, we do sidekicks, right? Everybody knows how to do a sidekick. A sidekick is just kicking to the side, right? Any kick to the side can be called a sidekick. Why do we teach you a specific way to do a sidekick? The Quillins, I can't tell which one of you is raising your hands, but I want to hear what you have to say. Why do we teach you to do a sidekick in a specific way?
I'm Seth, and we teach. You teach us to do a sidekick in a specific way because it's how people meant it to be. No, it's the way that it is.
That's correct. Exactly. We do sidekicks for a purpose, right? We do sidekicks because we want to be able to kick in a specific way that will accomplish a task. That's why I love board breaks, because board breaks test if your technique is done correctly. If you're not doing your sidekick correctly, you're probably not going to be able to break a board. Or if you're really strong, maybe you can break a board with a regular sidekick. But my favorite board break is a jump reverse sidekick. Would you be able to do that if you don't have really good technique? Absolutely not. So we have to do all of these little things to make sure your technique is perfect so that your sidekick's not just any sidekick. It's a sidekick that's going to do what you want it to do. Can somebody tell me what makes a perfect sidekick? I want you to tell me the things that go into a perfect sidekick. How about someone from Longmont?
And by the microphone for me. There you go. So like, if you don't practice your sidekicks, they won't be good unless you practice them. As if you don't practice them, you won't have much control.
What part of your foot do you hit with a sidekick? Can you tell me?
Here.
Oh, that's right, your heel, right? And have you heard us tell you to pivot?
Yes, sir.
Right, that pivot's really important. In fact, can you show us a really awesome sidekick?
Yes, sir.
You guys maybe didn't get to see that, but that was really, do it one more time. Perfect, exactly. So we need to have technique just like that to be able to have a good sidekick. And when we talk to ourselves, we want to talk to ourselves the same way. We want to do it in a way that's going to accomplish what we want to accomplish. So telling the truth in advance. I'm going to first learn how to replace my negative self-talk with positive self-talk, and therefore make awesome permanent changes to my programming. This is what we say to ourselves. So I want you guys to say this with me. Say it out loud. You guys ready? Move around, get ready. I need you to speak. Don't unmute yourself because that'll just become a jumble of digital noise. So while you're muted, get ready. Do you guys need to do that vocal exercises? Me, 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 me. All right, I think we're ready to go. Say it with me. I'm going to first learn how to replace my negative self-talk with positive self-talk, and therefore make awesome permanent changes to my programming. Did everybody say it out loud? I couldn't hear you because you're muted, so show me with your hands. If you said that out loud, raise your hand. All right, everybody's raising their hands. Did you guys do it confidently? Because remember, when we speak confidently, right? I'm getting a lot of head shakes. I'm glad you guys did that. So we're going to learn to take the things that we say that are negative, and remember, we all have all of this negative programming. So we've got a lot of negativity, and we're going to replace it with positive like that list that we saw, like try hard, never give up, and have a good attitude, those are the positive things we're going to replace so that we can have permanent change in our programming. Because if our programming changes temporarily, is that going to help us accomplish our dreams? No, we can accomplish maybe a short-term goal when we have programming that has been temporarily changed. But those big dreams, those are going to take a permanent change to the way we think and the way we talk to ourselves. So, are you guys ready for the homework part? So this is what I need you to do. Did anybody, by the way, last week, Mr. Wagner asked you guys to look in the mirror and say 5 good things that happened. Did you guys do that while you were doing what? Brushing your teeth, right? Jordan, did you do that? Can you tell us what was that like?
At first when I was brushing my teeth, I'm just like, how can I speak? So I thought it in my head instead of speaking
Smart.
it loud.
Smart. And do
So,
you remember any of the things that you thought about?
I believe I remember 2.
Okay, tell us one of them.
To remember and like visualize what I'm doing instead of like visualizing, oh, I'm gonna do this first try without even trying it. So like I'm visualizing what I'm gonna do and actually doing it. And once I feel like I'm done practicing, I'm gonna keep on practicing.
And how did that help you? Did it work?
Yes, sir.
Did you see some positive change? I love it. Great example. So this week's homework is going to be a little bit different than that. I want you to write it down, one thing that you would like to change about yourself right now. So these things that you want to change, we're going to start small. Something that's not too big. Something that you do or maybe you don't do that you would like to see changed. So maybe it's making your bed every day. Maybe it's getting better grades. Maybe it's not talking back to your mom or dad. Maybe it's practicing every single day. So I want everyone to start thinking right now, something that you would like to change about yourself. I'm gonna look, make sure those wheels are spinning in each of your little heads. I see some spinning. All right, perfect. Okay, so you get some time. Oh, some of you have already started writing it down. I love that. This isn't gonna take you very long, right? Get something, write it down. Now, underneath that, I want you to write down some negative things that you might say. These are called walls, and we'll get into that in the later chapters of the book, that prevent you from changing. Some negative things that you say that won't help you change, right? And you're gonna write down 1 or 2 of those things. So if you're trying to make your bed every day, for example, if that's the one you pick, you're gonna write negative things that you might say that will prevent you from changing. Maybe you'll tell yourself, oh, it doesn't matter if I make my bed, I'll just sleep in it later anyways, right? That's a negative thought that's not gonna help you accomplish that goal. So you're gonna have to come up with these on your own. Think about it, write it down. Writing it down is gonna be really helpful because you're going to be able to practice all of the next steps that we go through and how to talk to ourselves with this example that you have of something that you wanna change. Everybody got our homework assignment? Awesome job. Thank you guys for coming to the book review class with me. It was really fun to talk about chapter 3 with you guys. I'm really excited about the rest of the chapters and seeing all of the things that you guys are going to accomplish, right? Because everything we're doing is to focus on achieving success and going after those dreams. And you guys have some pretty big dreams, right? Yes, definitely. So I want you guys to use this to help your mind train and accomplish those dreams, because what we're doing in our heads, that's the most important thing that we teach you in karate. It's not the punches or kicks. It's the things that help train your brain and the way your brain works. That's the most important thing you'll get out of karate. All right, that's it for our leadership book review, you guys. Have a great rest of your evening. Some of you guys are ready for black belt class or orange belt class, so you got to get started on that. And we'll see you back next Wednesday at 6.
Bye.
Bye, guys. Thanks for joining us, guys. Bye, Ryan, Jennifer.